My name is Dick Rao, and I've lived at Fairfield Glade since January 5th of 1989. I went to most of the board meetings and noticed that a lot of the things that were going on could be considered a little shady. I started to dig into things and started to speak up at the board meetings, and one was looked at like a troublemaker. A group of residents wanted the community club to build an assisted living facility, and the community club board formed a committee to look into the project. After spending up to $10,000 or possibly more, C.W. White, one of the committee members who moved to Sun City, Florida, informed me that I was the reason that the project failed. I informed him that I felt that the non-residents could not pay for this project as they were paying up to 80% of the community club dues at that time. The manager, the board president, and a few other board members set up a meeting to convince the community that we should buy Deer Creek Golf Course in Croswell, Tennessee. 3 days before the meeting, I knocked on hundreds of doors in the Glade and passed out audited financial information about the community club. The day of the meeting, the recreation center was packed and a couple of hundred people could not get into the room. I did get up to speak, and the president of the community club stated that I had 3 minutes. A half dozen people hollered that he could have my 3 minutes. The plan to buy the golf course was over. After contacting a lot of non-residents and watching a lot of lot sales, I found out that most of the lots that had been sold, just like the one that my wife and I purchased, were next to worthless. The promises in words, in some cases in writing, turned out to be absolute lies. I feel that between 25,000 to 30,000 husband and wives were sold a dream, and it turned out to be a nightmare, costing these victims over $150 million. Presently, I have copies of 1,592 complaints that have been sent to the FBI in Nashville, Tennessee. These complaints have also been sent to the U.S. senators in the state where these people live. A lot of these complaints have also been sent to the Justice Department since July 26th of 2010 and the United States Attorney's Office in Nashville, Tennessee, starting about November 8th of 2011. John Webb, an attorney in the white-collar crime section of the United States Attorney's Office, called me on November 8th, 2011. And in talking, he stated that if they get any complaints on fraud, that they have to investigate them. I wonder if I was lied to, as I told John that they cannot look at a lot of the documents, they can look at a lot of the documents to verify that what these people have stated in their complaint are the truth. How can they investigate a crime when they do not look at documents? I've sent about 45 documents consisting of about 100 pages to the President, the First Lady, the FBI in Washington, D.C. and Nashville, Tennessee, the Justice Department in the Criminal and Fraud section, and to HUD on April 22nd of 2010. Kelly Hughes, a young lady in the Criminal and Fraud section, told me that there was nothing in their database, and she gave me the correct address, and I sent the complete package to them on July 24th, 2010. Kelly called me a few weeks later and told me that they had all the information in their database. I've also sent them copies of over 1,000 letters that have been sent to me over the past 20 years, and she stated that they have been put into their database in a separate section. I have copies of a half dozen form letters that have been sent to people who have filed a complaint with the Justice Department, which I call half-truths and possible lies. How can the Tennessee Attorney General and HUD go back over 35 years in a lawsuit if there's a time limit? I've been told by a prominent attorney in Knoxville, who also has offices in Nashville and Memphis, that there's no time limit on this kind of ongoing crime. I sent another letter to the President on November 20th, 2011, and did ask him to ask Eric Holder to see if the Justice Department could do an investigation on the largest scam and crime in Tennessee in the last 41 years. I also told him that if we did not get any help, that I feel we could take millions of votes away from him. Yes, I feel that the President has turned his back on about 30,000 senior husbands and wives who were swindled at Fairfield Glade. Is this the way the President should treat senior citizens? I was called by a staff member of U.S. Senator Nelson in Florida on January of 2012 and was asked to send her a letter, which I did. This letter was sent to the Justice Department and finally did get a copy of the letter that Michael Ramon, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the Criminal Fraud Section in Washington, D.C., sent to Senator Nelson. I felt that she was a liar, or the person who wrote the letter was a liar, because she signed the letter. I told her to please read her first paragraph. She stated that this fraud goes back to 1970s and 1980s. And I told her that I felt that she was trying to sell her opinion to Senator Nelson. I stated that I felt this was an absolute lie, and I did send her the information where two couples bought a lot in 2003 and 2005. The couple from Nicholsville, Kentucky bought a lot in 2003 and did not want a lot, but the salesperson told them that they could not buy a lot unless they did own a lot. And they finally got rid of their lot at auction in 2010 and lost $58,947. Another couple out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi bought a lot in 2005 and lost $42,159. These two families lost a total of $101,106 on fraud, and this fraud still was going on in 2003 and 2005. The largest scam and crime in Tennessee has never been fully investigated, and I feel that these innocent victims need some justice. I do hope that the news media will help to hold a fire to the feet of their U.S. Senator, along with their Attorney General, and demand them to find out why the FBI, the Justice Department, and the United States Attorney's Office in Nashville, Tennessee have not investigated this crime. The people who have been swindled are their constituents and deserve a little help. I feel that if these people cannot help their constituents, they should be voted out of office. If we do not get any help shortly, I plan on turning over a lot of documents to the Republican Party, the Tea Party, and the Super PAC so they can let the voters know that our president has turned his back on senior citizens who have sent him hundreds of letters and emails. I do hope that the president, the U.S. senators, and the attorney generals in each state where these people live will get the message to the people who should be protecting these innocent victims to pick up the rug, so to speak, and see how much dirt is underneath the rug. Yes, this would be a full investigation of the crime. I do love the news media, as they keep our country a lot more honest with their news coverage. I also hope that they will help the victims in their news coverage area and let them know that they can still file a complaint to have a good chance to get a lot of their money back. Thank you.